And a welcome to the Inland Sports Show. It is Wednesday night. I am in the dining room. Jeff Gorham at his home as we follow the safe at home order, right, Jeff? We're all quarantined. We're all hunkered down in our homes.
I'm tired of the safe at home. I have to tell you, I can't even watch TV anymore. Does that sound weird? But nothing sounds good on TV at all. I don't care if it's Tiger King or whatever. I just can't watch it. I can't watch sport. There's nothing I can do except read books and swim.
It's gotten to that point, hasn't it? I think we're all just kind of tired. I don't care who you are. I mean, it's hard, man. It's a hard staying at home. It's hard, like, not having the kids at school. Everything about it's hard.
Well, it's just the toughest thing is the things that you take for granted. Just the sports scores, just to kind of take your mind away for 10 minutes. They're not there, and every time I turn on Sports Center or any other sporting thing, it's just depressing because there's nothing going on.
I know, and that's a lot of us, that's our big outlet. We have a stressful day, we come home, you watch the highlights from that day, you see the scores, you look for your favorite team, and we don't even have that right now.
No, I mean, this tells you how I put it in perspective. Is I've been swimming every single day. I don't care. Because we're not using gas to drive around, right? So here's the deal. So I figured I'm just going to spend the money I would spend on my gas on natural gas so I can heat my pool all the time. Now it's hot enough where I don't have to heat it anymore. But the games I play in the pool get so intense. Like if the wife and I are battling. We're playing catch with a tennis ball, and we want to see if we can catch 100 in a row. It's pretty intense, and that's really the gist of my sports right now is playing catch with my kids in the pool and dunking each other. But I'm taking it serious. I try to win.
You win at everything, right?
I try, but
that's the plan at least.
It's just boring. There's only so many roses I can trim. There's only so much grass I can fix. And then it just gets to be a little tedious. I go on walks twice a day. I drink coffee. I get up early still. I still get up at the crack at like 5:30 in the morning every day.
Man, you are a warrior. Still getting up that early.
Yeah, I'm a warrior. Trust me. I just get up, drink coffee, and walk my dog. That's it. That's so tough, Pep.
And you know what? So I've been doing a lot of like weed eating and like you said, like pruning trees and doing stuff in the yard. And I got a letter in the mail, and I knew it was coming because it comes every year from the local fire department saying, you got to clear your lot, we're going to come inspect. But what bothered me was I had already cleared my lot. Like listen, I saw the fire. It's not the fire truck. It's like an SUV with the fire symbol on the side. But yeah. I saw them going down my street. I saw them looking around. I'm thinking, dude, you guys saw my house. Like, it's all cleared. Like, it's all good. Why'd you send me that letter? So I had to call him and say, hey, come out re-inspect because I'm good to go, man. I got nothing better to do. This place is in, the greatest shape it's ever been in. Like, come look.
I can eat my breakfast, lunch, and dinner off of my cement in my backyard. It's so clean.
It's gotten to that point, right? We're running out of things to do.
Yes, there is. And like I said, I can't watch TV anymore. It just drives me nuts. I get antsy, Pep.
Hey, but did you see The Rise of Skywalker is going to be released on Monday?
Yeah, I'm excited about that. And I did watch a couple movies. I did cry. Okay, here's a movie for everyone. You go to Disney Plus, The Bridge to Terabithia.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my gosh. I was crying like a baby.
Now, is there a new version of that, or is this the original?
The original one, I think, but it's on Disney Plus. I was crying like a little schoolgirl. It was I was a little sad, but I've seen a couple good movies. That one, the one about the orcs and stuff. The Disney Plus one.
Wait, the Lord of the Rings?
No, not that one. It's like a Outward or Outbound. What's it?
Oh, Onward.
Onward. Great movie. It made me think of you and I, Pep. We were like, it's a brother movie.
Was I the little brother?
Yeah, you're always the little brother. You're the little guy. But no, that's my two things. Bridge to Terabithia and Onward. Those are the two best movies that I've seen right now.
You know what I've been doing? Tara and I, we made our way through Agent Carter. Remember Agent Carter, the Marvel series, the TV series?
Yes.
Really good. I don't know if you've ever watched it, but it was really good. And now we're doing Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Oh, that's a good show.
It is. It is. So
we are watching Lord of the Rings with Johnny, so we're just kind of taking our time through that because Carla reads to him all these books, so she read to him the Fellowship of the Ring, I think, or the Hobbit, one of the two. But so that's what we're doing.
I remember, I think it was 7th grade where we read The Hobbit as a class, and I remember like really being into it. And then years later, as an adult, the movies came out, and I'm like, I'm into it again. This is cool.
Yeah, and I figured if we watch it slowly, I mean, we could get through those movies. I think there's like 5 of them, 6 of them, 5 of them. We can get through those maybe in a month.
Because they're all like 3+ hours, like they're marathons.
Watching with, I have my 7-year-old. I just watch it for a half hour, and he falls asleep, and then we just start again tomorrow. So tonight we're going to be watching a little Fellowship of the Ring.
That's a good one.
Yeah, that's the excitement of my life.
They're all good ones. Hey, Jeff, we did have some sports news going down, and I should say a little bit later in the show, we're going to have Andrew Raymer, the head football coach for Chaparral High School, and then Jeff Steinberg, the head coach at Beaumont High School. So we're going to be talking a lot of high school football in this show. And speaking of not high school football, but they were formal high school stars. We had the NFL draft, and again, we had some local guys not only get drafted, we had a bunch of them with these undrafted, free agent contracts. So the draft ends Saturday night, especially on Sunday, and then it spilled into Monday where guys who were not drafted coming out of college signed these undrafted free agent contracts. And the leader of the pack for our local guys here in the Inland Sports Coverage area, we had Troy Dye, former Norco High School football star at the University of Oregon. He goes in the 4th round to the Minnesota Vikings. And what's cool about this, Jeff, is now he's going to play with Alexander Madison from San Bernardino High School. Our
favorite guy, Alexander Madison. In fact, I think you met with him last week, didn't you?
Yeah, so I did an interview. In fact, you can watch it in its entirety on an IMG show soon. But yeah, he like all of us, he's hunkered down, but he's in Minnesota. He's staying close to the team facility, but he's just staying ready. He's just doing stuff at home like everyone else, whatever you can do. I don't know if he's got a treadmill or whatever he's got, but he's just playing board games and, keeping his body right and just kind of hanging out, waiting to get back into the Vikings facility because right now they should be doing, some sort of OTA or mini camp or something like that coming up.
They can't do anything yet, so they'll be, they're lifting milk jugs and doing arm curls with milk jugs. I saw Ken Batdorf doing that on Twitter or something.
I knew you were going to say that because he is. Ken Batdorf is like Mr. Innovation, like doing all these crazy, weights and cardio and all kinds of stuff.
Well, you have Steinberg. He's going to join you. Please ask him about his dance moves with his daughter.
Definitely.
Because I love the guy, and he's one of my favorite people in the world, but non-dance moves. Daughter has good dance moves. My son still has a crush on his daughter. So, yeah, in fact, I was told by Connor, hey, did you see Steinberg dancing? So I said no. So I looked him up. There he was.
There he was, dancing all around.
Yes, he was.
I will ask him about that. In fact, if I remember right, I'm going to have to look or ask him about it. I think there was a video that surfaced a long time ago when he was still the head coach at Santiago. But it was back when he was still in Canada, and he was on some like public access TV show or something, and he was dancing around.
Well,
I think it was him.
It was, all I know is his daughter, a very good dancer. He, not so much. But let's go back to the Dye brothers. All these guys, there's 2 of them that could possibly play in the NFL. There's a third one out there too.
Yeah, so first we had the great Tony Dye, who made it to the NFL, and then now we got Troy Dye, who was drafted by the Vikings in the 4th round, and then we got Travis Dye, who was a running back at Norco High School, and now at the University of Oregon as well. So there were Dye guys all the way around, everywhere.
I mean, what a great story, though, to have 2 brothers, maybe possibly 3, having to play in the NFL. That's just great, and what a good story for the local guys.
Absolutely. And then some other undrafted free agents. We had J.J. Taylor on the show. He signed with the New England Patriots. What a great spot for J.J., the former Centennial tailback.
He gets to play with Terrific Tom. Oh,
not anymore. And Jeff, this is a cool story. And I'm trying to get this guy on the show. I found out, so Jeff Hector, get to know his name. He is a defensive back for the University of Redlands.
And he has two first names.
Jeff Hector. He signed with the Baltimore Ravens, and I'm trying to get him on the show, and I think he's going to do the show, but he had to go get a physical with the Ravens to get checked out. So again, like Troy Dye's going to do the show as well. They're kind of trying to get things in place, with their NFL teams. But I reached out to Coach Mike Maynard at the U of R, and I'm like, listen, I've been around the IE since 2011, so I've seen some U of R football, but I think a U of R football guy signing with an NFL team, that's got to be pretty rare. So I asked him how many guys have done it, and I think there was like 2. And the only one that was actually ever drafted, you might remember the name. He was a Redlands High and U of R star, Brian DeRue.
I do remember him.
He was drafted by, I'll have to check. I think they were the Baltimore Colts at the time, but he was drafted out of the U of R into the NFL. That's
great. I mean, that's a great story too. You'd love to see those little guys make it up, and talking about guys that make it out of NAIA, Division II, Division III, the whole the Jordan thing. All those players, the Scottie Pippens, the Dennis Rodmans. Sometimes you can find guys like that.
Yeah, you know what? Like watching The Last Dance, I forgot that Jordan and Rodman did not come from big schools. Like that's crazy.
And think of it this way: do you remember? We talk about guys being silly and goofy all the time. How goofy was Dennis Rodman now that we're looking back at what people are doing now? He was as goofy as anyone. He disappeared to Vegas during the season.
That was unbelievable.
Yeah, I mean, really, and it took me, I was like watching and I go, is that true? And I'm like, holy cow. It's not so. The things that were happening pre social media days. Could you imagine if you had social media now?
Oh my gosh. Because someone would have gotten a picture of him in Las Vegas, and it would be all over social media.
Yeah, but who's really the greatest of all time? Is it Michael Jordan or Dennis Rodman? Did you see the women that he dated?
Oh my gosh! And he's a weird dude.
He's a weird dude, but
he's a weird looking dude.
I mean, beautiful. Besides Madonna, well, Madonna at one point was kind of cute, but that was the 80s. But everyone else was incredible. I'm like, Dennis Rodman. I see him hanging out at the bar in Newport, and he's a derelict. I mean, heck. Yeah, it's just weird. All that whole stuff's goofy, but I enjoy watching it.
Yeah, I love The Last Dance, and it's given us our basketball fix. And speaking of basketball, some other news that came out, Jeff, was the Western Athletic Conference changed their rules for the postseason basketball tournaments.
About time.
Yeah, so even though California Baptist is going through this transition process to Division I, they are still, or I should say they are eligible now because the rules have been changed. They're eligible for that postseason tournament. But again, I was asking you off camera, and you had a little bit more clarity on this, that let's say CBU wins the WAC tournament. They can't go to the NCAA tournament, so who would go from the WAC?
Well, I think it's going to be exactly kind of like the Big West because, it's a lower, not lower, it's a mid-major. Let's be honest here. And usually mid-majors have contracts. So I imagine that just like the Big West, that the WAC will have a regular season champion and they will automatically get a bid to the NIT. I mean, that's usually the second-tiered tournament. If CBU outright wins the league, then they'll go to the NIT. If they won the tournament, then whoever they would play in the finals would get the NCAA tournament bid, and then it would just probably go back to CBU going to the NIT. And that's just the only way I really think you can do it.
But that's pretty cool. Let's say for the CBU men or women, if you can win the WAC tournament, that's an automatic ticket to the NIT. If that's the way it works out, at least you'd have something to play for at the end of the season.
Yeah, and there are so many other different tournaments. Like you said, UCR was slated to play in a postseason tournament. Cal Baptist was slated to play. They possibly could have played each other. But I do think it gives CBU a great opportunity, not for recruiting, because they're going to get to have these players play an extra 4, 5. It could be as many as 10 games extra by playing in these postseason tournaments, by playing in the regular season tournament and then the postseason. So recruiting-wise, it helps Coach Croy. But it also helps in the fact that, they're going to get a couple home games if they do make the postseason, which is great because those lower-tier tournament, not lower-tier, but the smaller-tier tournaments usually get a couple home games. So that's a lot of added revenue for Cal Baptist. A great, great situation. I just wish they could bypass that entire last 2 years and let them play in the tournament.
I know.
Best start of any Division I school in history. So you can't really say anything other than I think it's a bad rule.
They're coming for you, New Mexico State. You better watch it.
Yeah.
They're going to be on your heels. All right, Jeff, let's wrap it up. We're going to talk high school football with Andrew Raymer from Chaparral. Then right after him, we're going to have Jeff Steinberg. And yes, Jeff, I will ask Coach Steinberg about the dance moves.
And tell him my son still has the hots for his daughter.
I'll let you do that.
Yeah.
All right.
Looking, if you're going off of this,
yeah.
But my kids, they're pretty good looking.
All right, that's Jeff Gorham, and we'll take a break here on the Inland Sports Show, and we will be right back in just a minute as we will talk high school football here, assuming we do have a season. That's coming up next. All right, welcome back, everybody, to the Inland Sports Show. We're talking high school football. It's our pledge to the IE. We do it every single show, and yes, we are preparing for a high school football season at some point. Join us live on the show right now. He is the head coach of the Chaparral Pumas. It's Coach Andrew Raymer. And Coach, I won't say exactly what you said off camera right now, but what are you doing right now to kill some time during quarantine?
Well, right now I'm in my garage gym, hiding from my 2-year-old. He would try to make an appearance on this show, and I don't know what he would say. But you know, just myself and my wife are both teachers. We're both just balancing distance teaching and having a 2-year-old and a 6-month-old at home. So it can be challenging at times, but it's fun.
Yeah. So you're trying to work at home like a lot of people, but when you have children that young, that just seems like a losing battle every day.
Yeah, you know, sometimes he gets the show, a little extra show, or you know, we walk into the playroom and it's a disaster, but you know, we just got to fight our battles right now. So.
Well, you know, before we get into the nuts and bolts of the upcoming season, I saw this on Twitter, and this is, you know, something I wanted to talk to you about, was a I don't know what you're calling, like a virtual, I forget the proper term, but a virtual showcase or whatnot. So what are you guys putting together with the Southwestern League in terms of this virtual showcase?
So last year we did a college showcase. We had a great turnout. I would say 50 plus colleges strolling through the Temecula-Murrieta area. We stole this idea from Matt Logan at Centennial. They've been doing.
He's got some good ideas.
Yeah. Matt's the man. So last year, 4 of us in the Southwestern League, we did the showcase in one day, and we staggered our times. Had a lot of success. The college coaches really liked it. So this year we planned, and we met together actually at our all league meeting, and decided for all to agree all 6 schools are going to work together, and stagger our times from like 8 a.m. all the way till about 8 p.m. So these college coaches could get out there and see all of our kids. And with this COVID-19 hitting us and making us be at home, we couldn't do it. And then we saw the NFL and how they adjusted to a virtual aspect of it, and how these prospects were creating videos and using social media on different platforms. And we got together, all the Southwestern League coaches. We had a Zoom meeting probably 2-3 weeks ago, and just started talking about what we can do for our kids. And this is one of the ideas that we started to discuss, and how do we do this. And I think it's going to be a really cool thing for our kids in our valley. And it's gained a lot of excitement through these college coaches, because the spring recruiting time is huge for our kids, especially to see that improvements or that growth in height or weight or speed or whatever it may be. And not just for the class of 2021, but also, the 22 and the 23 kids as well.
Yeah, Coach, you bring up a great point, because I know, obviously we feel really bad for the seniors, especially the spring sports seniors. But the junior class, for at least football, I mean, this is a very important time for them, and it was, it's being ripped away from them. Hopefully this virtual showcase can at least get them going in the right direction, or make some connections, or get some exposure, right?
Yeah, definitely. And, it's going to be virtual in the sense that we're going to use Twitter as our platform, but it's not going to be live. We're not going to put our kids, in endangerment of working out together or anything like that. It's going to be some pre-recorded videos of them doing drills, some pictures of some height and weight, some wingspan, updated huddle links, so it's just it's a good day. And we have a hashtag SWL 2020 that we're gonna use and post on all of our kids, our stuff. And you'll see, Chaparral football account, retweeting Vista Murrieta and Temecula Valley and all the other schools in our league. So we're gonna try to get this on as many people's social media as we can with our kids.
No, that's awesome. That's, again, a lot of people, including you guys in the Southwestern League, finding innovative ideas and just finding ways really to try to continue what you would normally be doing this time of the year, right? Just trying to find a way.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we have a great program. We're in a great, league. As you could tell from last year with, all of us knocked each other off. At some point, we all made the playoffs in our, our respective divisions. Temecula Valley, went on and won it all. But we have some great teams, some great coaches, and really we have some great players, especially in this class of 2021 and 2022 as well. So,
well, let's talk a little Puma football. How do you like the group that's coming back next year for you guys?
You know what? We're extremely excited. They've done everything we've asked them so far through this social distancing, learning online, using Google, Classroom and Google Meets and everything like that. They're finding ways to work out, get themselves, some weights. Some kids, are fortunate enough their parents bought them full-on racks, so they could work out. Some kids, have some dumbbells. But, it's a hardworking group, a group that we've been looking forward to since, our coaching staff got the job. This is year 3 for us. And just a really self-motivated and just really good kids. We have the class of 2021 will definitely leave a legacy at Chaparral, and it'll be unfortunate if they don't get that opportunity to get onto the football field.
Well, Coach, I'm not a medical professional, but I've said this several times on previous shows in the last couple of weeks. My hunch is that we will have high school football. Does it start on August 21st, week 0? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know, but I have a hunch we will have high school football. What does your gut tell you anything?
My gut tells us that we're going to play at some point. Like you said, hopefully, it's in August, maybe it's September, maybe it's October, but I'm going to put money, if I'm a betting man, on that we get to play football in some capacity. Football is a big sport. The biggest sport. It helps out a lot of other people in the community. It helps a lot of people out, at the school. It helps just the kids. And, that's the big thing that we talk about as a staff. When we get back, we just need to make sure that we have a good experience with these kids. And that's going to be our main focus is what can we do to make sure that these kids have a successful year. Like you said, the class of 2020 got their year cut short, and hopefully we can make sure that the class of 2021, gets they're what they deserve, what they need to be happy teenagers. So.
And Coach, finally, listen, I know you got your hands full at home with the little ones, but if you're like me, I do have some extra time on my hands to think about things. Have you thought about once they kind of open everything up to hit the ground running, like once they say, okay, you can get back on campus, you can get back with your team. Have you thought about that game plan of, okay, guys, this is what we need to do. We need to accomplish this, this, and this before our first game of the year?
Yeah. We have plans from opening up in June to July to August. We have plan A all the way through Z, and I told our staff we need to just stop thinking about this until we get like official word. But we're ahead in the game of install. We've been using these online platforms to have meetings with our kids, and it's technology is great. So the knowledge of what we're going to run is there. We're not getting that ability to get on the field and execute it or run as a team or lift as a team. Once we get back, we're going to have to ease into it to make sure that these kids are in shape and, we're not going too crazy right away. So, the health of the kids, with football related injuries is going to be probably a bigger thing when we get back than this COVID-19 thing. They're not used to running and sprinting and lifting. So, we're going to have to ease back into football, and just like everyone else, though. So we're on the same playing field as everyone in America. It's not like, hey,
and that's the thing. Everyone's going to be at the same starting point. Like, there's no advantage. Like, oh, that team's been practicing for 2 or 3 months. Oh, that team started a week early with helmets. I think we're all going to be on the field at the same exact time.
Yeah, and you know what? Even when I was in high school, we had like 2 weeks, to prepare for. We had a little summer camp, and we had 2 weeks to prepare for our first game, and we made it work.
Yeah.
Who knows? You might see CIF say, hey, you guys can bring back 2 days under these restrictions, or, you can do this or do that, or we don't know. Like I said, we need to stop thinking about the what ifs and everything until, CIF or the state of California says, hey, this is the official word, and this is what's going to happen. This is when football is going to be played, or any other sport is going to be played. When we're going to get back to school. Last week we weren't going to school until 2021. Now there's talk about opening the schools in July and August.
Yeah.
So who knows?
It changes daily. It changes on the hour. We're always hearing new information. So you're right. Like, who knows?
Yeah.
Well, Coach, good luck with the preparation for the upcoming season. Good luck with the kids and working from home. I know it's a challenge, but it sounds like you're doing okay.
Yeah, I appreciate it, and we'll keep you in the loop with this Southwestern League Showcase, and to get our kids noticed. And it's not just for our big time recruits. It's for the senior class. It's for the returning underclassmen that played varsity football. It's for kids going to junior college, the D3. We're going to tell every single college coach out there from, University of Redlands all the way to University of Maine. we're going to try to get this word out there for the kids.
University of Maine Black Bears, one of my favorites out there. Hey, but Coach, if you guys are putting, like you said, those workout videos or whatever, and using that hashtag SWL2020, if you tag Inland Sports, I'll make sure I share, Chaparral, Temecula Valley, Murrieta Mesa, whoever. I'll make sure we share it so we can get it more exposure out there.
I appreciate it, and I know all the other Southwestern League coaches will appreciate that as well.
All right, that's Andrew Raymer, head football coach at Chaparral High School. Coach, we appreciate the time. I'll let you get back to those kiddos.
Appreciate it, Pep.
All right, that's Coach Raymer, and we will be back with more Inland Sports Show right after this. And welcome back to the Inland Sports Show. It's Wednesday night. We're talking high school football, and really, you've got nothing better to do. We're all stuck at home. And joining us live on the Inland Sports Show, he's the head coach of the Beaumont Cougars. It's the great Jeff Steinberg. First off, Coach, I want to say it looks like you need a haircut. That's one.
Big time. That's why I'm wearing a hat.
and secondly, and Jeff Gorham wanted me to ask you, why are you dancing? No more dancing on social media for you. You must know what I'm talking about, right? You were dancing.
The things we do for our kids, you know.
You're exactly right. And I was telling Jeff in our first segment, and correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't I give you a hard time about some old public access TV show in Canada, and you were dancing, right?
Yeah. I guess I started my career on TV or online on whatever that way. And yeah, we pulled the plug on that pretty quick.
I think I saved that video somewhere.
I hope it did.
I'm not going to play it right now. If I had it, I would play it, but I don't think I have that old video of you. What was that? It was like you and a teammate, right? It was like a football show or something.
No, it wasn't a football show, but it was a public access, and they would bring on guests and interview them, and they always had a dancing segment on their show, and the guests would usually dance with one of the co-hosts. And so my buddy and I decided to one-up them and we decided to do a dance together. So.
And it lives in infamy forever. Somewhere out. It's probably on YouTube or somewhere out there, right?
No, I had it pulled off of YouTube.
Well, Coach, here we are. We're almost to the month of May. I would assume if everything was normal, you guys would be in spring football doing something on the field right now. Is that about right?
This would be our first week of physical spring football, and we're doing spring football right now. It's online, but yeah, we'd be on the field.
So, what kind of creative, innovative ways have you had to come up with to kind of just stay connected with your coaches, stay connected with your players, and keep everyone kind of moving forward? Because the football season, assuming we're going to start, and I think we will, it's going to come whether we're ready or not.
And that's the thing is this is going to be one of those things that we see people, teams, organizations grow and thrive and find unique ways to connect and get better and just make things work, or you're going to be left in the dust. It's nobody's staying the same from something like this. So I don't know if I would consider it innovative or anything, but I just went about the best way I know how, and I try to connect with the kids in our program as best as I can. So it just kind of seemed a natural. I think we were 3 days in, and we started Zooming, and then we were sharing things with them on Huddle. And I've created a Google form that they see. It goes out every Sunday night. So by Monday, they kind of get information for the week. I give them something thought-provoking. There's workouts in it based on whether you have a full gym at home or you have nothing. And then there's just some other information. So that's what we do. We try to call kids, text, whatever, but we know that we're going to see them twice a week through what we call our spring football online. And next week it's going to change a little bit. And now that we're getting to May, we're going to connect with the parents too. So that's what we're doing.
Yeah, because you probably have to run the gamut with your players, because some might have access to weights at home or stuff like that, and some might just have just a dirt backyard and nothing else.
Right, exactly. And so we're just giving them stuff to say, hey, look, we're not going to make excuses saying, I couldn't do anything, I have no weights at home. Well, you can go get 2 water jugs and get them filled up. You can load up a suitcase or a duffel bag, your backpack. There's a lot of really good things, and I think that this is going to be one of those cases where we're going to really find out about the players who really wanted to continue doing their training, and we're going to let anything hold them back.
Yeah, it will be interesting, because there's players, quote unquote, grinding right now, and there's some that's probably grinding on the couch through a bag of potato chips or something at this point. Coach, I wanted to ask you, you guys are moving to the Citrus Belt League. I haven't talked to you since Beaumont's making the jump to the CBL this upcoming fall season. Listen, I love the Mountain Pass. I think it's great for football. I think it's a high level of football. I think it's very competitive. In terms of, you guys had a bunch of teams going far into the playoffs and all that. But the CBL, man, that's good football right there. Are you excited about that challenge?
So excited to be back in the CBL. I'm familiar with. I know the landscape's changed a little bit with the teams from when I was at AB Miller, but I know about the history, and just the name, the Citrus Belt League kind of brings out when people hear about that league. And I think the Mountain Pass League was just a dynamite league, and like you said, it was pretty strong. We were all going deep.
Yeah.
But the challenge was that our school and community are growing. And half the teams in the Mountain Pass League had 3 levels of football, and half didn't. Half only had 2 levels. So it just kind of seemed a natural for us, having 3 levels. We're a large program, to be able to transition into the Citrus Belt League. And it's going to be a huge challenge, because it's going to be something very different for our community. But we're growing, and that's kind of where we're going. So I'm excited about it.
So you're going to be playing, again, if you're not familiar with the CBL, which if you're watching the show, you probably are if you follow high school football, but we're talking Cajon, we're talking Redlands East Valley. Citrus Valley is now quickly on the rise. That league schedule is going to be awesome.
Yeah, I call them Citrus East Valley.
That's pretty much what it is, right? With that Bruick connection out there.
A lot of respect for what he's doing there.
And then your non-league too. I know obviously you're going to keep that, the war for the wheel. Banning's still going to be on there. You still got San Jacinto on there. That's a big time matchup because we've seen what the Tigers have done the last couple of years.
Yeah, and then I think with Orange Vista, starting the year off with Orange Vista, which the Zomalts are awesome coaches, and they have that Midas touch. They did it at Citrus Hill, and now they're doing it over there. And then again to play San Diego Poway from down in that area. Kyle Williams, the new head football coach, he's just a dynamite. I was going to say up and coming, but he's already there in terms of the programs that he's been at, and he's had an opportunity to turn around, and I expect him to do the same thing real quick here at Poway.
And I don't have your schedule in front of me, but is Summit the other one?
And Summit as well.
So
so I think this is probably one of, if not the toughest non-league schedule in the history of Beaumont, and so we're excited about that.
Because again, that's only going to get you prepared for what you're going to see down the road, whether it's league or even come playoff time, right?
Yeah, kind of taking the same approach from when I was at Burroughs High School and we were growing the program. We went out and we wanted to play great competition. It wasn't about going 10-0 in the regular season. It was about let's play the best competition, build a little bit of a callus, find out how tough we are. We'll find out where our weaknesses are right away through week 0 through 10. We're going to find out a lot about our program all year. We're not going to be able to hide anything.
Well, Coach, let me ask you about this group that you have coming back this season. I mean, it was last year. It was a great run. Do you feel like you've got enough in the cupboard still, and maybe some up and comers, if you want to use that term, that you feel good about 2020?
We are going to be a lunch bucket crew. We have a lot of guys coming back, especially on the defensive side of the ball, that were role players last year, and so they're going to get an opportunity to step in the spotlight this year. Offensively, I feel really good about our offensive line, quarterback position, running back. We're returning running back from last year, Sadiq Randolph. We return a few of the receivers. We're going to have a couple guys that play both ways. I try not to play too many guys on both sides of the ball, but I think we're going to have a couple guys that have done that. They've done well enough that it's kind of warranted to reward them by giving them an opportunity to play a role on both sides.
Well, Coach, I always appreciate the time. It's always good talking Beaumont High School football. And that first game against Orange Vista, is that a week 0? Is that August 21st? Week
0.
So I've been every coach I come in contact with, I ask them, what's their hunch? What's their gut tell them about, the upcoming football season? Are we going to start on time? My hunch is we will have high school football. Does it start in week 0? I'm not sure about that, but I hope it does. But I'm confident we will have high school football. Do you have a hunch about what this fall season might look like? Yeah,
I think too many people are looking at college and professional, and those are money-making machines. High school is different. We're linked to, if we go back to school, we are playing football. There's going to be sports. And when you look at, the governor talking now about possibly going back in July or whatever, that just tells me that there's a great possibility that we're going to be having a football season. Now, it's too early to tell if it's going to be a 10-game season or whatever, but I'm pretty sure we're going to have a football season.
All right, just for the sake of conversation, just hypothetically saying, you heard Gavin Newsom, the governor, say, hey, we might bring school back in July. Was it the first thing in your mind thinking, okay, if we go back July 1st, how much can I get done between July and August 21st? Are we already game planning? Okay, if that's our window of preparation, what can I get done at Beaumont?
So when you have time like this, aside from me being the hall monitor at home for the kids' e-learning, I have a lot of time to think of a lot of different scenarios. So I've kind of mapped out a scenario where we're going back next week. another one where we're going back at the beginning of June, another one where we're going back in July, and another one where we're going back maybe even after that. And so I've just been because I think the big thing really is going to be we're going to be pressed to install all the great stuff that guys are studying this offseason. Like, you're not going to install all that. Guys are going to tweak some things or whatever. The secret sauce are going to be the guys who really understand how to get your kids back in football shape. Like, you're not going to just start running them right from day one and run them into the ground. There's going to be a little bit of science behind that as well. So you're going to have to be smart in terms of getting them so that they're game ready, and that that takes about 4 weeks to be able to do that.
Well, Coach, I know Division III college football still does this, and I'm not that old, but in my day, you had like 2 weeks, and then you go right into the season. So it can be done. It's been done before, and it can be done, right? If you have that short window to go into the season.
Yeah, and I've also leaned on guys in Canada at the college level, their youth sports. Just to kind of figure out, okay, what do you do in the summer? Because there, guys usually in the summer are on their own, and then they'll start and they'll have about a 2-week window from training camp to their first game. So I know it's like Division III is very similar as well. So, it can be done.
And you know what, Coach, football related, I was just thinking, wouldn't the Canadian Football League be taking place right now?
So normally they would start their first game this year was set to go in June, and they would have been starting training camp probably pretty soon. I know that they have a tentative restart date where they're going to start the season in July. So we'll see what happens there. Obviously, if they start July, they most likely have to cut games out because it starts to get pretty chilly in November. And it's hard. You can't play football in December there. Unless you're using your domed facility.
Yeah, because I was just thinking, I haven't heard much about the Canadian Football League in terms of when they might come back or when the season would start, because that might be another indicator. Like, I don't know, like golf and NASCAR, some of these other sports have already started putting dates out there when they're going to return. I was like, oh yeah, the CFL should be cranking it up pretty soon.
Yeah, they'll be starting a little later this year.
Well, if you need your football fix, just look north, right? And hopefully we'll have some football this summer. That's Jeff Steinberg. He is the head football coach of the Beaumont Cougars and world-renowned dancer joining us here on this show. Coach, I always appreciate the time. Please tell your family I said hello. And I should have asked the first thing, but you and your family, everyone's doing well in your household?
Everybody's doing great. Thank you. Say hi to the family, please.
I will. That's Jeff Steinberg, head football coach at Beaumont. We'll be back with more Inland Sports Show. Awesome.
Thanks, man.
So with our school program, it's called BASS, the Boost Alternative School for Student Athletes. We've had our school for about 3 years now. We're going to be opening up enrollment for the 2020-2021 school year. And if you really want to get involved, it's all referral based. You either have to come speak with us directly, or if you know someone who's currently in the program. But it's a great program. It's all the meat and potatoes of just your rigorous academic program and a complete collegiate strength and speed development program as well. It's a real collegiate vibe. It challenges the kids. It's not an easy program by any means, but we've had a lot of growth with our student athletes as they move on to high school, whether they're going to a public school or private school. It's a program that really prepares you, not just academically, but physically for the next level.
I would say the one thing that we stress more than anything else is service to our customer. Make sure that they're taking care of whatever you can do to make sure that that order gets to them on time and it's the right quality and what they want. I've been that way since 1976. That was my goal, to reach out to local sports programs, and it's grown from there, and we've been very, very fortunate. My grandson is right over here. He's working for us, and he's going to college right now, and that's exactly what my son did 20-some years ago, and it keeps on going, you know. And we have customers that come in the store that it's amazing. People that I haven't been here since I was a little kid, and I used to come in here all the time, and then now I'm bringing my son in here, or a grandpa that's bringing his grandson in here that came in here when we first opened back in '76. We just feel so fortunate to have been a part of this community and this Inland Empire for going into our 44th year now, and it's just been a blessing.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Don't forget, there's 2 Spoiled locations now. I'm at the brand new one right off the 91 freeway at Arlington. You can spoil yourself. You can spoil your car. You come in here, 10 minutes, you're in and you're out. You're back on the road. Go check out Spoiled, local business, locally owned and operated. And they've got the location off the 215 freeway at Alessandro. And this one, the brand new one here, off of the 91 at Arlington.
I felt spoiled. It was great. I got in easy. I mean, the price was the best. The price is just helped me out. And what I really enjoyed about it is that they explained to me what was going on today. And I feel like when I walked out of here, I just felt so special. I said I had a new boyfriend. His name is Spoiled.
You got your flower.
And I got the flower.
Welcome back to the Mike's Fitness Equipment Studio. It's the Inland Sports Show.
So with our school program, it's called BASS, the Boost Alternative School for Student Athletes. We've had our
And welcome back to the Inland Sports Show. Let's wrap things up like this. Just a quick reminder, our senior writer, Daryl Trujillo, right now at the Inland Sports website. He's doing a series on what we're calling Championship Reflects. So Champions Reflect, and all these champions from the Inland Sports coverage area. Right now we're doing several volleyball teams. Daryl's, I think, doing Great Oak Baseball. That's on deck. So if you're a championship team, I saw Paloma Valley Girls Wrestling, Coach Robles. We love that guy. They reached out to him as well. So we're going to kind of look back on the school year and, again, reflect on these championship seasons for a lot of our local teams. And again, several volleyball ones are up already right now. And in fact, it was, I think, Vista Marietta, Temecula Valley, and Ontario Christian Girls Volleyball. You can find those stories right now. That is inlandsports.wordpress.com, or you can just type in sportswithpep.com and you can find the website that way as well. So if you'd like a championship team featured by our senior writer, Daryl Trujillo, make sure you follow him on Twitter and send him a message. We'll talk about your local championship team on our website. Again, a big thanks to Coach Jeff Steinberg, Coach Andrew Raymer from Chaparral. We appreciate their time. In the next week or so, we're hoping to catch up with Troy Dye, the former Norco high school football star out of the University of Oregon, who was drafted by the Minnesota Vikings. Also, Jeff Hector from the University of Redlands football team, who has signed with the Baltimore Ravens. So there's a lot going on still here locally. We told you about the news with the WAC basketball postseason tournament, the conference tournament, and how CBU will now be eligible to go to the tournament. So there's still a lot going on. So every Wednesday night, we'll be right here on Inland Sports breaking it all down. Big thanks to our sponsors. We will be back in the Mike's Fitness Equipment studio sometime soon. Shout out to Spoiled. Quick quality oil change. They are an essential business. They are open. 2 locations in Riverside, off the 91 at Arlington, off the 215 at Alessandro. We got Ken Sporting Goods. Make sure you get your Ken Sporting Goods facial covering. Do I have the picture right here? I think I do. Let's see if this will work. I got my the Inland Sports mask is coming. Let's see. Can I get it to punch up real quick? My computer, as always, is acting crazy here at home. If we were in the studio, this would not be a problem. But I'm at home, and I don't have all the cool stuff. Oh, there's the mask. We got it. Get yours, too. If you need a face covering with your school, with your team, with your business, with your organization, with your school district, wherever it might be, Ken Sporting Goods can hook it all the way up. And again, a big shout out to our friend Ray Bass at Boost Performance Training. Again, a lot of they're teachers too. Not only are they trainers, but it's a private school at Boost Performance Training. They are teachers as well, so they're having to adapt like everybody else and do the whole distance learning thing. And it's tough on not only the students being at home, but it's tough on the teachers. I'm not a teacher, but I can only imagine it means a lot more work and a lot more, again, thinking outside the box, trying to be innovative. How are you going to teach your students without physically being in the same room with them? It's tough, but they're getting it done at Boost Performance Training. We love you, Ray Bass. You're the best. And again, once we open everything up, make sure you check them out, especially if you feel like you're a little behind getting ready for your sports season because you've been hanging out on the couch too much. Like me, go to Boost Performance Training. Be well, be safe, everyone out there. Take care of one another. And again, just smile. Let's take care of each other. Let's have a positive attitude, and we'll get back on the sports fields very, very soon. Can't wait for high school football. We'll be back next Wednesday on the Inland Sports Show.